Hey, this is Mike and Tom with the Muscle and Speed podcast. We're here to talk about our favorite car movies, TV shows, music, and workouts, wheeling, whatever else comes to our mind. We're going to be posting these up once a week. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Muscle and Speed. We also have a website, www.muscleandspeed.com, where we'll eventually be selling some merch. Our goal here is to share our passion for all these things with the people who feel the same way. And we're back. It's Mike and Tom with Muscle and Speed, and we're here with a couple friends of ours, Kyle and Dominic.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, boys. How you doing?
Hi.
Good.
So, you guys guesting on the podcast. Usually Tom and I start talking about our week in the gym, and then just weightlifting shit in general. For Tom and I, what did we do? Saturday we missed.
Nothing.
We didn't do a thing.
Sunday a little bit.
Sunday we did one of those stupid hybrid workouts where we do the major movement for each body part from Saturday and Sunday, and then an accessory workout. So you're kind of splitting it in half. The workout's in half, but getting everything in.
Better than nothing.
It's better than nothing. That's what we think. and that was good because Tuesday
We missed again.
we didn't show up. And then Wednesday we did another hybrid workout where we tried to get everything in.
CrossFit boys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't hanging from anything or trying to do flips or, I didn't have those really short
30
shorts
reps.
on. Yeah. They like to bounce around holding weights and
Your legs behind your head.
yeah, I don't do that. I am pretty flexible though. I think I could if I really wanted to. Maybe I'll show you guys later.
Yes.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, things went well. I didn't deadlift as I said I wouldn't. And
On your word.
yeah. And I gotta say, I'm better for it. I know that's like the best, the manliest, the toughest workout you can do. It's the best measure of strength in the gym. But I get hurt every time I do it. And I'm doing bent over rows with more weight than I can deadlift. That tells you a lot right there. So,
It's
that was Dominic getting a beer. We got a nice mix. I'm drinking a Coors. Got a couple Bud Lights. Tommy's sucking his thumb. I'm kidding.
It's not a thumb.
Wait, it's not as fun.
He has a Bud Light.
He's flexible too.
Oh, guys, look at that head.
Yeah. That's it. We invite you two and the podcast gets sexual.
Thought that's why we're here.
It is. Yeah, so I mean, there really wasn't much going on gym-wise. I got to 275 on incline again. I did 365 on flat bench. Squats, we just went to 315 again. Really concentrating on getting lower, and I think Julie shamed us both because she gets
did.
lower than both of us.
She did.
Granted, she's shorter than us too, but
Yeah.
her depth on her squat was fantastic. That's all right now. You're good.
You're good.
I think everyone's familiar with the sound of a cooler and beers being withdrawn. Yeah.
I didn't offer, sorry.
Yeah, and then so overhead press, I did 175, which isn't as good as I was, but it's okay for now. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
What else? We do? Seated dumbbells.
We did some seated dumbbells. Yeah, none of the workouts were that great. What'd you go to on leg press? 1200? I tapped out at 900. I had enough of that.
Something like that.
Yeah. I'm not...
Oh, don't skimp. You went 1200.
He went to 1200, and he got 5.
For 5 even, no shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was a good push. That's not for me, though.
It's a lot of juice.
It is. A lot of effort. Yeah, I don't know. It went well. Dumbbell rows, those were great. And I feel great. The past couple weeks, I keep straining my back trying to do deadlifts, and I felt like shit for 2-3 weeks now, and now I feel great. So no more deadlifting for a while.
Have you started like with just like a plate, just like really going slow and form?
It's an ongoing problem.
Okay.
We don't warm up. I mean, we kind of do, but not like you probably should, and certainly not my lower back, and that's what I need to do.
Or even get like in the rack with like lighter weight and put some bands on it, so you're getting that resistance.
Have you met Zina Huta?
Huh.
Zina Huta. I'm probably saying her name wrong. Pitsley.
Should-
Sorry, Zina.
Sugar Boys.
Zina follows us, so she's gonna hear this.
Okay.
Zina does some bikini competitions and some fitness competition stuff, and
Really?
she was a certified personal trainer, and she worked at the local college. Now she's working with me over at the health center. She mentioned that I should try strengthening my abs and my obliques more, that it would help cover up the issues with my back. And so I think I'm going to try that. I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of crunches, as you could tell, with my physique.
I've thought that for myself. I know my lower back, glutes, everything's so tight,
Even it out.
and you're so weak on the front
Yeah.
that you don't have that balance, and then that constant strain is always there.
Well, and it's important with your legs too, right? Your hamstrings and your quads.
Hamstrings, glute, yeah, everything's
Yeah.
just super tight, and you're gonna have that. It's just gonna be pulling on you all the time.
And you know what? And I read a lot of stuff and I watch a lot of stuff to see if I can deadlift a different way, right? So I see guys that have a narrow stance, I see guys with a wide stance, and I see people pulling sumo.
What's
Sumo is your legs out, arms in, and everyone says it's cheating. Because your range of motion is much less.
Yeah, you're not gonna pull sumo for a world record.
Well, it's legal, but it's not done. I'll say that.
Yeah.
People tend to lift more weight on average doing sumo who don't do a lot of weight normally. But everybody who lifts at the top level pulls conventional. So
How do your
there's
knees
that.
take at sumo deadlift when they're out?
It's more.
Seems like they wanna
It's a
buck
lot of hip.
It's your ass is what it is. You're like you say, your hips and your ass, and you're almost in a vertical stance anyway, so you're way less lower back, which is why it would be a good way to pull for me. But I probably should work on them core muscles first and then see how it goes.
I don't think Eddie Hall's pulling sumo ever.
I don't think Eddie Hall could if he wanted to. That guy's so thick. I don't think he could get in position.
He's lost 50 pounds.
You're right. We were talking about that on the way over.
Mm-hmm.
He
He's
was
lost
like-
a lot of weight.
Yeah, he was like 420 pounds.
360 now.
Yeah, something like that.
He always tells his weight in stone, so I have to
He
like
does.
I have to Google how much stone
Yeah.
is.
How much rock are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's a guy. His neck and his face are so much thinner.
yeah, yep. Did you see that video where he got his gym partner to drink his sweat?
Yes.
Oh.
Dominic was having no part of it.
That makes my mouth sweaty right now.
You know when he's got that shitty grin?
Oh.
It just cracks me up when
Yeah, I got a new pre-workout for you.
does that like that.
Ooh, strong.
That was that Martin Ford. He's like 6'8" and he's
a
a
big
huge
dude.
guy.
He's in Iron 2. What was it, Generation Iron 2, isn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yep. I guess they're working on the next generation iron already. The thing that I want to see more in that is powerlifting. They always do bodybuilding documentaries, and there's nothing against bodybuilding guys, but there's been a lot. I would rather now see some powerlifting stuff.
Well, that Born Strong movie was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. With a lot of Eddie Hall and Zdrunas Zavickas.
Yep.
Yeah.
That guy's a freak.
That's a good show.
Well, and it made it into CTs quite a bit too. If you watch his Magnificent Obsession, and that was on Netflix, and
Yeah.
so is Eddie Hall's actually. So both
Yeah.
of those you can catch there.
That was all good flicks.
Yep. CT is quite the motivator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not very gentle.
And we were watching Larry Wheels.
Larry Wheels. He's only 23 years old.
23. Oh my god. Incline, 225-pound dumbbells.
Yeah, 450 pounds for 4.
You know what was interesting to me though, and we were talking about it. when he was sitting there, they gave him the smelling salts, right? But he told both those guys, Black Tom Cruise and Stan, he said, get him up on my knees. He goes, but then I'm going back right away, so you got to get behind me. He goes, I don't want him resting on my legs, which I thought was interesting. That they're so heavy, he didn't want it sitting on his knees.
No, that's a lot of weight sitting on your quad. With that,
pretty nuts.
With that pin sitting there.
Well, and the weights were so wide. It made their... I thought that was nuts. The whole thing was nuts.
The white guy, they said his wrist was getting all funky, and it was the first time he'd ever picked those up.
Yep. I would like to see him do it again, because when they switched over to barbell, he was lifting...
Oh, he was 5 plates on incline easy.
Yeah. 405, he put up like it was nothing. And he was pulling the weight down, and it was a good 2 inches off his chest, and he was pulling it. He couldn't get any lower. That's how thick he is.
Yeah. He said you couldn't pay him.
Couldn't, yeah. He goes, I couldn't make that touch my chest if I wanted to.
Oh,
No, with a gun in my head, he couldn't incline to his chest.
oh my word.
But then at the end of it, he had, 8 or 9 surgeries?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if he tore a shoulder in there somewhere.
Good
Or-
up.
No, they did say he tore a pec.
Yeah.
So maybe he just has no flexibility there to get back.
And that's why I think, and Jay Cutler talked about that. The reason that they don't do, one of the reasons bodybuilders don't do what powerlifters do is because if they tear their pec, their career's over.
Mm-hmm.
With a powerlifter, you just get surgery, heal up, and come right back. But for those bodybuilders, you're done.
Yeah, if you look disfigured in your, because it's got a bunch all up.
Yep,
And
like
you'll
Stallone.
never-
That's
you'll
the
never look
classic
the same.
Stallone look.
Yep.
If you look, he's normal on one side, and
Well, that's why he's got all the tattoos,
Yep.
just covering it, trying
It's
to
covering
cover
it up.
everything up.
yeah. But I thought that was pretty cool. And that guy, he put up 405 on incline like it was nothing. He was throwing it up for reps like it was nothing, and then he did 5 plates, no problem. And Larry tapped out. He wasn't doing that many.
But they did say they're going to try it again
Yeah.
when they're peaking for whatever. Larry's for, is he in the Olympia?
He said that he's
like physique.
I think so. And he said he's slowly getting away from bodybuilding, and he wants to be a powerlifter full time now.
Okay.
So, like they said, it's a different diet. And you've heard Mark Bell talk about that. The diet sucks when you're bodybuilding because you basically eat chicken and rice all day long. And if you're powerlifting, you can kind of eat whatever you want, as long as you're getting a lot.
Yeah, you just need calories.
Yep. So that's why that works better for us. We laugh because we're like, we talk about powerlifting like it's what we do. It kind of is, but it, not on the level of real powerlifters.
Right.
No.
But we do have a good time. Yeah. Pretty good.
I'm ready to start lifting again.
You need to.
It's time.
I'm going to start
My
soon.
son would love to see you at the gym.
Oh,
Like I said, though, he talked about you for like the next 2 weeks after you came the last time.
hey, you're welcome. Thanks,
Hey,
Dad.
he's still going.
What about Dad? Yeah.
No.
Not the
Nobody
same.
cares
Yeah.
what you do. Not even Mom.
Not impressed.
Yeah. Kyle came here. He hadn't lifted in 5 weeks. He almost kept up with Dad.
Oh, you did.
What did we do that day? 365 with the armband?
Yeah.
With the band?
The slingshot. That is an amazing device. When I say I did 275 on incline, I'm talking about with the slingshot. I didn't do that myself.
Hey, oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Mhm.
I did it. I'm taking that.
Can own it.
But I'm anxious to do 315 on incline. That's,
I'm gonna try 405 with the slingshot.
You should.
I'm going to.
How many reps?
You have to. All
I
three of
can't
us.
get 225, so I'm gonna try.
You guys got to jump to the Kyle Bell 4-plate club.
Oh,
I'm just saying. I'm just
he
saying.
just laid it down. He
I'm
just
just
laid
saying.
it down. Right on the
Did you say what
table.
like that?
Uh-huh. We can do leg day. I'll get ready. We'll work up to it.
And that's the thing. Tommy and I get accused of ego lifting quite a bit. And maybe we do.
Naturally.
But at the same time, we're pushing each other. And when Kyle's there, we push it a little harder.
It's fun. Nobody wants to be outdone.
And I
You wanna
think,
do-
was it when you were there or were you spotting me when I did 395 with the slingshot?
I was.
It was you. So it that's just, I haven't done it since, but yeah, I think there's a place for that. You know, as long as you're not putting yourself in danger of getting hurt, as long as you're in control of the weight is the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I say, hell yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you've got bench workouts where and it's hard. A bench workout you're 225 and sometimes it feels like it's 300.
Yeah.
But other times, you're 225 and it feels like a plate. You get your good reps and you know that bench day is going to be a good day.
Yeah.
Well, that's any workout.
Well, I think on one of the podcasts we were talking about, I had done really well the week before, and I was big talking on the podcast then, because we usually podcast after the week of workouts is done, so we're almost back to chest day. And I said, I'm going to try 405 this week. It's going to be good. We got in, and I did 225, and I told you right there, I was like, no way.
No, yeah.
I stopped at 315.
If you're doing 2 plates on a warm up and you're throwing it up and it's click clink click clink click clink because you're pushing it up that fast.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna have a good day.
It's weird though, because your strength level really hasn't changed. It's energy. It's something else. Something else is off on those days, and you just can't. You can't do nothing.
And as sad as it is, we're not taking the greatest care of us on the weekends.
What do you mean?
Cheers.
Yeah. Eating garbage, drinking beer. I can't imagine why I'm not feeling good on Monday. Why is my bench not there?
Right. That's all right. And at the end of the day, I've said this before. I really, the thing that bums me out about not being able to deadlift is if I could get a deadlift around 500 pounds and I could get a squat around 500 pounds, which is very doable, I know I'm going to bench press 4 plates at some point. I would do a powerlifting meet just to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that would be awesome.
I would love to see you in a singlet. Just the singlet.
I'm not shaving.
Popping.
I'm not shaving.
Gonna see it all.
Singlet and a gold chain.
There used to be some bench press competitions in Ishpring at the Strength and Fitness, and I always wanted to try.
Yeah.
Being 6'6", I'd like to have a bench that's a little higher off the ground.
Yeah.
Just because when I push, my butt will come up.
Mm-hmm.
If the bench was a little higher, it'd make a difference.
A lot of time lately, what we've been seeing, a lot of the powerlifters talk about they wear their weight belt when they bench press, and they wear it higher up. They said for some reason that helps them keep their back arched and their ass down. I have not tried it because I don't really have a problem with that. But that seems to be what everybody's doing. If you watch those videos, most of them have their weight belt up high when they're bench pressing.
Yeah, my shins are just so long that they're way higher than a bench.
Your weight.
So if I have my legs out flat, I'm pushing up, my ass comes up.
Yeah. But you know what? I've never really arched either like they do.
No, I can't.
I don't have that flexibility. Like I can a little bit, but it's hard for me to create that. And you see some people go in there and they're like,
They're doing a decline press on it.
yeah,
you see some of those women, they only got to they'll press the bar 3 inches.
right. But it counts. And that's their complaint with sumo, and it actually does count. And so you have some guys that are keeping up with some other guys they otherwise wouldn't.
Just got to pick it up, and you got to get that arch in your back.
The other thing we were watching is that, what's his name? Kalen Woolham? The Dr. Deadlift.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember his name?
No, I just Dr. Deadlift.
He's kind of a genetic freak, I think, because he's
There's your sumo deadlifter.
he's the sumo
Kaler.
deadlifter. Although now he's pulling conventional.
Yeah.
Kaler Woolham. He uses a hook grip and no straps. And we tried it.
I tried it. It hurt.
He said it's incredibly painful until you.
Didn't he almost do 1,000 pounds with no straps?
Yeah, he did that, and he uses a hook grip. He's like, it's not because I'm strong enough to hold the weight. It's because he hooks his thumbs like that
Under his hand.
Yeah, and it basically just puts all that pressure then is on your thumb. But he says it can hold it, and he does it without straps, no problem.
That's insane.
Why do you think they'd want to rip your thumb off, eh?
Yeah, I imagine it hurts quite. I didn't really try it with any weight. You did, and you said it hurt pretty.
It hurt.
Yeah.
You know what though? I've found people don't have grip strength like people used to have grip strength, and you can shake someone's hand and people just don't have that, and that weighs big on benching to tell you to squeeze the bar and squeeze your forearm and all that. You know, you squeeze your glutes and all that stuff comes through, and you wonder why people can't do those, you know, the basic lifts. Right. They just don't have the basic strength.
Nope. And so one of the things I read about that was, or heard about that, and it was probably, I don't know, it was either Mark Bell or Brian Shaw, one of those guys, but they were talking about one of the things you got to do is put your straps away. And like if you're trying to get like the most on the lat, fine, put your straps on, but they said through most of your workouts, just stop using them. Grip strength. Because there's no way to build grip strength without using your grip, basically. And it sucks because on like lat pull down, sometimes you can work your lats a lot better with straps because you can hold the weight.
Yeah.
And so you're making a choice.
Before the lats do.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to make a choice. That's one of the things though, and we're talking about strength measures. We got those certified grippers, and I would love to close the threes.
You've been close, haven't you, Dominic?
I haven't been.
He's close on the 2.5s.
I can shut the 2.5s.
You can shut the 2.5s?
Yeah, I can shut the 2s and that's it. It's 200 pounds of pressure. The number is divided by 100, basically. Close the 3s, it's 300 pounds of pressure. So.
Tell me he's done the 3s.
I'm an extras.
Then I woke up.
Both hands at the same time.
We were going to tell you, so we were watching one of those videos with Brian Shaw. He was talking about grip strength, and he turned us onto these rubber bands that fit around your fingertips.
The extensors.
You switch up the extensors, yeah. It's pretty tough.
You've seen those at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been trying to use
insane.
those too.
Tight day.
It's just complete, you know, it's opposite of everything else to squeeze hard.
Yeah.
And this is to open as hard as you can.
Well, one thing we don't do is farmer's walk. Well, you kind of do. You use the wide grip on the dumbbells and carry them around the gym.
Just, for grip.
But the farmer's walk's a big one too. Weight over distance. It's a big deal.
My dad would kick ass in a farmer's walk.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Well, like you're saying, you talk about
Now he would.
guys back in the day that were iron workers, that were, you know,
Just construction
workers. They had
Bricklayers.
grips like they'd rip your arm
bricklayers.
off. Yeah.
Carrying 2 blocks.
Yep. They'd rip your arm off
Foundation,
back in the day.
8-inch blocks and 2 in each hand.
Us IT guys, we got baby soft hands.
Yeah.
Lots of lotion.
That backspace key is just.
Yep. They move like lightning.
Strong pinky.
Yeah, strong thumb, spacebar.
Yeah. All right. Enough about lifting.
Oh, I was going to talk about triceps. I love triceps.
Well, let's hear about your triceps.
Skull crushers. What were you doing on skull crushers?
I had a preacher bar, so a 25-pound preacher bar.
Yeah.
With a 45 and a 25 for seated.
Oh, behind the head. Nice.
Behind the head. Because our largest dumbbells are 100-pound dumbbells, and that doesn't suffice for those.
Right.
So
That's nuts.
So that's what?
We're up to a 35. Right, man?
We're doing a hundo.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
A 35 and a 2.5.
2.5.
So that's 165 behind the head, seated,
That's awesome.
tricep. That's my favorite thing in the world.
That's why you can bench 4 plates.
Baby.
Yeah, and then get some plate curls in.
Yeah.
That's a good day. That's a fun day. That's a fun arm day.
That's big. We used to do an arm day where it was triceps and biceps. And I just got to where I wanted to do pushing and pulling.
Yeah.
So we do the triceps and shoulders on the same day.
Back and by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly by.
Mostly by.
Little pan.
Yeah.
90% of the time.
No.
Little Miley Cyrus.
Are you by? No,
You like blondes or brunettes?
Blondes.
Good, because I'll take anything.
Julie is just kidding.
Yeah. She's a brunette.
Yeah.
She doesn't listen to this. Yeah. No, that's good. And on that video with Larry Wheels and Stan and Black Tom Cruise, because we can't say Black Tom Cruise enough. He doesn't look anything like Tom Cruise.
No, almost like Mr. T.
But it was on his weight belt. So he's Black Tom Cruise. They did. That's what they were talking about. Like, they can't stress enough, if you're trying to push anything, your triceps are the key, no matter what it is. So that's the thing to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, Kyle, you're a football coach.
I am.
You excited about football season?
Yeah, we got our first week, 10 practices in the books.
Nice.
It's crazy. Our first week of 2 days.
You tired?
It's a long day.
Blowing the whistle and hollering.
Yeah.
Come on, get.
It's not cross country practice. This is Berga football here.
Run till you die.
Yeah.
Aren't you good at football?
Yeah, wonder why they don't have a football team. We got one of Lance's best football players. Is it Logan Fish?
No, I don't know.
He's going to be a senior at Lance, and he's at Nagani right now.
Really?
Wow.
And he's swimming because we run like an offense, like you hear on John Gruden on TV. You know, is the offensive plays, all the verbiage that's there, and we're not to that extent, but quite a bit. And he used to say their formations plays were like twin right, run left.
Yeah.
Like that was their play.
That was it.
Yeah, not twin right, Zeke, 37 belly G.
Yeah.
Like it didn't get into that kind of verbiage of what their run plays were. So he's very athletic, and he's kind of amazed that, holy cow, like Nagani's for real.
Yeah.
So joining that conference with the Westpac and playing Lance.
Is he good?
Yeah, he's gonna be
Asset to the team?
Yeah, he's gonna receiver and defensive back, so he'll definitely help us.
Nice.
He's very athletic. He's got hands that you can whip a ball at him as hard as you can, and you can't hear him catch it. He's got soft hands.
Wow.
He's a pretty good receiver. But
Nice.
our JV team's got 30 kids on it. Pretty heavy on the sophomores.
Yeah.
And the varsity group's got a good mix of juniors and seniors. They're heavy juniors on their skill guys.
Yeah.
Junior tailback, junior fullback, quarterback. Best receivers a junior. Two of the best linemen are juniors. So
you got it next year.
yeah, so we're
As well.
a building year. We struggled
Yeah.
last year, but program wide. But this year is gonna be a lot of fun.
Nice.
And then obviously, we're playing Houghton and Hancock and Gogebic, Lance.
Yeah.
So we'll be up the West Way often.
We'll
So it'll be
have to
fun.
Check out some games.
Completely different schedule. So it'll be fun.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys aren't having problems with kids coming out.
Oh, we are big time.
You are.
Probably one of our best players, a sophomore, played last year and started at tight end and defensive end for us.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't come out this year,
Yeah.
and he's like 6'3", 190 pounds. As a sophomore, a 15-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
and said the only reason he was going to play is if his parents made him. So he's a kid that would dominate under, have no problem. Could throw other kids that weigh 100. We got kids on our JV team that weigh 110 pounds. Would love to be as big as him.
Yeah.
And
Can't teach size.
No, can't teach that, and you can't teach heart either. And,
No.
and he has no heart.
He
so.
has no heart.
And we've had a couple other kids that, one kid that lives about a mile from our football field said I can't play, I can't get a ride to practice. It's like, you live a mile away. Lives by Teal Lake, up the hill. Can't make it. What's the real reason? I don't really want to play. Okay. But played for us last year. Started on the offensive line for us. Would have played this year. So
Wow.
we kind of just came to the conclusion that addition by subtraction on that one.
Wow. Well,
It's work.
yeah.
It was 85 degrees this afternoon.
What did it used to be like? Like when you played, when you were at Nagani, how many kids would come out?
Any boy that kind of had a set would come out.
Would come out and play.
we talked in the mid 2000s. I want to say like 2008. We had 100 kids in our program.
Wow.
So 30 kids on the freshman and JVs.
Yeah.
On each team,
Yeah.
a freshman team of 30, JV team of 30, varsity team of 40.
Nice.
Wow.
So 100 kids in the program, and now we're just over 65 program wide, with 30 on our team and 35 on the varsity, and we've looked at that at all sports. It's a lot of work to go to practice.
Yeah.
And to put in all the off-season time, and to sacrifice playing Fortnite and watching YouTube and all that crap.
Jacksepticeye.
to be there, and we've seen it with our wrestling program. We have a wrestling team, and there's 13 weight positions,
Yeah.
and fill them all. You got a handful of kids that are 135 to 170. You got a handful of kids there.
Yeah.
With only a handful of spots, and you struggle to get those kids to come out and work.
It's amazing, and I said this before too. Back when many years ago, when I played sports, we had tryouts. Like, just because you wanted to play didn't mean you were going to get to. You might not even make the team. And so nowadays that's why I asked that. Is it seems like teams are just starving for players.
Oh, big time.
There's no such thing as a tryout. If you're willing to play, come on, suit up.
And as mean as it sounds, you always need dummy holders.
Yeah. You need guys in practice to work the starters. You do.
Yeah.
That's a part of being on the team.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of kids aren't willing to do that. They all want to be rock stars.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes you're not, and you're a part of the team, and you're there to make everybody else better as much as you can.
And it's sad, and kids realize it. You watch, whether it's on Amazon or you watch Hard Knocks on HBO, there's guys that are willing to do anything to make that 53-man roster on an NFL team, to just be on the kickoff team.
Right. And so
no shoe contract,
Right.
no fancy contract, league minimum at $450,000.
Yeah.
But to be there, or just to be on the practice squad.
Right.
What did I hear last year? They were getting practice squad guys get like $7,000 a week
Something like that.
for practice squad.
That'd work.
I mean, it pays bills, but it's keeping you there.
It's crazy though. I mean, that's why I shared that Army Fit test with you guys. So if you had a chance to look at that, the minimum qualification in the Army Fit test now is to be able to lift 140 pounds, do 10 push-ups, do 1 leg thrust, and run the 2 mile in 23 minutes.
23.
You can almost walk it at that speed. That is so ridiculous. I told him, I'm like, Jordan could pass this.
Yeah.
And he'd pass it pretty good. He might even finish in the moderate.
Imagine just walking. I mean, that's a 10-minute mile, 2.5 minutes a quarter.
Yeah, you can almost walk it. Not quite. You're gonna have to jog, but
Yeah, you could jog it backwards and make it.
you're not gonna be pushing yourself.
But those are our finest young men and women.
Well, this is what they said. You're talking about that, and the military is going through the same thing. 73% of boys and girls 17 to 29 are medically unable, largely due to obesity, for even being in the military.
Scary.
And and I was listening to a Green Beret talk on a podcast, and that's what he said. He goes, "You think that's bad?" He goes, "Now think, for us, we take the top 3%." He goes, "We used to have 200-300 guys come out. Now we're lucky if there's 50." And he goes, "So when one of us goes down, it's a huge deal because we don't have anybody to replace him." It's pretty nuts. Are you digging for your favorite one?
Cold it tastes the same.
Just trying to do it quietly, but it's not working.
It doesn't matter.
It's like diarrhea at church.
Not good.
That smell's not going anywhere either.
So that just shows you how weak everything is, but how cool like Navy SEALs are.
Yeah.
Like they're like the cream of the cream of the cream.
Well, and a lot of them are hanging on longer because there just aren't the guys behind them.
Well, I'm sure they're getting incentives.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. That was Tim Kennedy who who did that, who was talking about it on Joe Rogan's podcast. So if you ever look that up, it's actually a pretty cool interview. But he has his own show now. What is it called? It's basically where he puts himself in these crazy ass scenarios, and they're like,
Well, it's on Discovery.
It's on Discovery.
Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill. That's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
He
I
was
watched. They were doing the first episode was a test pilot.
Yeah. He's a former MMA fighter. You know, he was in Special Forces. As an MMA fighter, he was top 5 for a long time. It wasn't like he tried MMA. Like, Brian Stahn was an Army Ranger, and I believe he was one of the top guys at one point, too. Those guys are tough.
No quit, eh? It's kind of like Tom Klisch.
Yeah.
No quit. Why is everyone laughing? I'm being serious.
Hey, you didn't. We missed Saturday. We went Sunday. We missed Tuesday. We went Wednesday. We ain't quitting. We got this. For the record, Tom was ready to go Saturday. I was the one who didn't want to go. I think.
Really?
Is that how that went? Or no, it was Tuesday. Tuesday you were ready to go and I wasn't.
Well, you got JT a new go-kart.
Yeah, JT got a go-kart. So, as an IT person, I love technology. And if you could see my laptop right now, you'd understand.
It's pretty baller.
Yeah.
It's called the Predator.
It's called the Predator. So's my desktop. I have matching.
Mm-hmm. Does that have any reference to, like, you in general?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not really. But was there a little sadness in my voice right there? You should hear Julie. Yeah. You're gonna hear disappointment. Talk to my wife. But no, you know, and so as an IT user, IT person, a person who follows technology, loves technology, and you know, my house is pretty hooked up with technology. I realized after buying all this stuff and exposing my son to it and him showing an interest that I'm also kind of setting him up for exactly what we're talking about. And so now I've kind of reversed it and I'm trying to get him things that will get him away from it. And so for his birthday this year, we bought him a go-kart. And so far it's working. He'd rather drive that thing than do anything. So
Sweet.
yeah.
He's having fun.
Yeah. And we're going to post up some pictures and video. Julie and Jordan, Julie's my wife. She's going to help him sand it and paint it. They're going to flat black it. We got new foam coming on for it.
Awesome.
Going to customize it out, and he's pretty excited.
Oh,
Put a big wing on the back.
We should.
those pool floaties were pretty cool on there. Zip tied on.
Yeah, that was what I didn't like.
Roll cage. No, but cool for Jordan, though, being in the weight room.
Yeah.
An assistant coach of mine, his son is a sophomore, and always came down in the winter when his dad and I were lifting. He struggled at first when he was 6th grade or 7th grade cleaning the bar.
Yeah.
So a 45-pound bar, cleaning the bar,
Mm-hmm.
and he's 5'7", maybe like 125, but just can't put any weight on, but's getting strong.
Mm-hmm.
He had a better bench than some of the juniors that weighed 180 pounds, that weighed 60 pounds more. He had a better bench, so he's made big time improvements. And I know you've said that about Jordan, how you know, we've said that coaches and I, doing something is better than
Just
nothing.
showing up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so can't say, that's all you can lift. Well, yeah, for now, but I'm getting stronger.
Yeah.
And it takes time for a young kid.
It's funny though, because like a normal guy, you know, and so Jordan, he hasn't shown a great interest in any kind of sports. He's talking about running track in the spring, and I'm really encouraging him to. He's a pretty skinny kid, but it's funny because when we get in the gym, you know, and he's watching his uncle deadlift, and he'll go over to the Smith machine where the bar is counterbalanced so he can throw 45s on it. And then he starts pulling on that. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
But like you said, anything to keep him in there. But we do make him do an actual...
Or little high school girls come in there.
Or little high school girls come in there.
He switches into a new gear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden he's...
hair slicked back.
Yeah.
licking his eyebrows.
Yeah.
No, so kudos. So
Yeah, I'm aware of it, and I think that's a big part of the problem. When you're talking about a young kid, it's the parents who ultimately are at fault. You know, you put the sugar in their face, you know, you put the controller in their hands, you can also take it out.
yep. Yeah.
And so Jordan knows if he wants to play his video games, he's got to come to the gym 4 days a week with me.
And that's awesome that you and Jules, you're all there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was actually shocked because she's never wanted to. Julie's always been a little bit self-conscious.
She digs it now.
Now she takes it. And since I quit deadlifting, she's deadlifting more than I am. And she was getting close anyway.
And it's amazing what weight training does for anyone.
Yeah, a little confidence.
Yep, big time. Yeah, you feel great.
Yeah. It's awesome. So, talking about football, Lions play tonight.
Oh,
It's our year.
it's our year. We're gonna do it.
We already told us.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now's the time.
All right, but seriously.
Seriously, we're talking about it with coaches today. You
Yeah.
know, we've got. I would like to think that Stafford's. You know, he's a top 10.
I
think NFL.com had him like at number 7
Yeah,
quarterback.
he's at least there.
If he can get a running game to complement their offense,
Right.
I think he could be an MVP candidate for the NFL
He could.
to have that kind of season.
He could. And we were talking about it too. Golden Tate and Marvin Jones and those guys, they don't get enough credit because they're on Detroit's team. Golden Tate was in the top 5 of every receiving metric, and he was 1 in a couple of them.
Yep.
They were the only wide receiver tandem in the NFL that were both over 1,000 yards.
And the yards after catch are huge.
Yeah, and his yards after catch are number 1 in the league.
The
Golden
yak.
Tate. Yeah.
Yak.
He's got all the yak.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if they can get you know, their offensive line, I think the pieces are there.
You think Frank Ragnow is going to be good?
Yes.
Matthew Stafford said he's pretty impressed with him so far. He's their new offensive lineman.
You know, they've got a young crew.
Yeah. LeGarrette Blount, do you think he's going to make a difference?
He made a difference in New England.
He did. He's been good wherever he was, and he's kind of a bruiser, so
Yeah.
He is.
You get him his carries, get him his touches. He'll get yards for you.
yeah.
You know, and obviously they'll use him for different situations.
You know, Tommy and I spent some time talking about the Joey Harrington days.
Oh my god.
The Ofer days.
The Ofer days. You remember when Barry left, we had a bad year, of course, the year after, and then the 10 years after that. But when Barry retired, do you remember shortly after that they picked up James Stewart from the Panthers?
Yeah.
Or Jacksonville Jaguars, was it? Jacksonville Jaguars, I think. But he was awesome.
Yes.
And he ran for like 800 and some yards, and then I think the next year it was 900. And the year after that, they were like, wow, he's going to break 1,000, and they traded him.
Well, that was
Matt Millen.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Those were the Matt Millen days.
But you know what? It was like when
That guy should be hung.
when Gary Moeller took over after what's his face left. Fonz. Gary Moeller coached them to what, a 9-7, and we missed the playoff on a kick or something of that effect. They went 9-7 and they missed the playoffs.
Not Gary Moeller. 'Cause Gary Moeller was at Michigan.
He was, but he was on. Why? He was a Lions coach for half a season.
Bobby
A head
Ross.
coach?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Was it when Bobby Ross left?
Fact check that.
Fact check.
Fact check it. When was Gary Moeller with Detroit? Because, okay,
I'm
this is
looking
what
at it.
happened. Gary Moeller ran the offense as we had always had our offense, and the new people wanted Detroit to get rid of the run and shoot and move to a West Coast style offense, and they didn't think Gary Moeller was the guy to take them there because he was a Michigan guy, because that's the offense he ran in Detroit. And they were horrible after that.
He's on the Lions for the year 2000.
There you go.
Okay.
So it was the year after Barry retired.
Yep.
So they did pretty good. And was that Joey Harrington's rookie year? I'm trying to remember. Or was it Charlie Batch's rookie year?
Oh,
I know, we're going way back.
Charlie Batch.
I
Great.
know.
He was a great backup, and
He got 2 rings
yeah,
sitting behind Big Ben.
yeah. Wayne Fonts Bobby Ross, Gary Moeller. I didn't remember that.
Yeah. Gary Moeller was ditched when Matt Millen came in because they wanted to move to a West Coast offense. And they didn't think Gary Moeller could do it because he did the run and shoot at Michigan and he did the run and shoot in Detroit.
He only coached 7 games. He went
Yeah.
4-3. Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. And I think, I've believed this ever since. You put James Stewart on a team that Gary Moeller is coaching, and they would have done just fine.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
That's all you need sometimes.
Or 4. You go
Yeah.
4-4 first down. 4-4 first down.
Yeah. That always bummed me out. I think about that off and on as a long-suffering Lions fan. You think about the
Don't think about the
been.
past. This is our year.
Right.
Rod Marinelli went 10-38. That was his record.
Oh.
Three seasons. Schwartz went 29-51. Oh my God.
What did Caldwell do? He had a winning record.
He had a
didn't he?
winning. Yeah, 36-28.
So this is what I'll say for Matt Patricia. I'm going to go ahead and say that he's going to be great. Maybe not, but I'm going to say he is. Because it
go ahead and
doesn't
say
help to
he's
say
bad.
he's not. Yeah.
Less bad.
But he's inheriting a talented team, so he better be good.
Well, and he's defensive minded.
Yeah.
I mean,
They better be
the
good.
defense is going to be there, and Jim Bob Cooter's still there, right?
Yeah.
Jim
So-
Bob.
Jim Bob Cooter. So
See, the Raiders have been in this huge dispute with Khalil Mack. And see, they're working up scenarios on how Detroit could get him. They were talking about 2 first-round draft picks because that's what New England wanted for Odell Beckham Jr.
well, he doesn't have a contract either,
No.
but
No, he doesn't.
but he's practicing.
Yeah, he's out there.
He's
There's a couple guys that are doing that right now.
He
that are-
said, he goes, it's not up to me to deal with that stuff, so I'm just going to go to practice. Where Khalil Mack's not practicing.
No, he wants to come to Detroit. That's what I heard. Maybe wishful thinking.
Use an inside backer.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a stud.
But you know what? If that rookie middle linebacker, what was his name? Do you remember? From last year.
From Georgia. Oh no, rookie from last year.
If you play better, we'll remember your name.
Yeah.
He started great.
He did.
He started great.
And he had that. What do they call it? Hitting the rookie wall. You could definitely tell he did.
Yeah, because he.
But he played really well at the beginning of last season. And if he progresses into his second season, they were talking about they had a scrimmage with who's Derek Carr play for?
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
That's where they're playing tonight.
They were scrimmaging the Raiders earlier in the week.
Yep, they were out in Oakland right now.
And Derek Carr threw his first interception to Darius Slay.
Oh.
Big play like.
Big play, Slay. Picked him off.
Mm-hmm.
I like where you're thinking there, Dominic.
Head is in the gutter.
No, that's perfect. You just didn't bring enough glasses.
Jared Davis.
Yes,
Yeah,
Jared Davis.
Yeah,
Gerard Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked fantastic at the beginning of the year. And if his level of play can stay like it was at the beginning of last year, that's going to make a big difference on that defense. It's just weird. Detroit is a weird team. You know, for years, they were deep at defensive line and weak at cornerback. And then they got strong at cornerback and weak at defensive line.
I was just gonna say they're 2 corners right now, Darius Slay and Nevin Lawson, which played great. Quandre Diggs and Glover Quinn. Quinn's been a freak at safety.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's some guys there.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with Zeke Ansah on the defensive end and Zettel, they're inside tackles that Sean Robinson's played last year, but right now they got Sylvester Williams. Was he on the roster last year?
I don't think so.
Because what's his name left?
Yeah,
Um,
can't think of his name either.
the
But
Samoan dude.
yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, it always feels like when you're talking about the best teams in the NFL, they win with players you've never heard of. That's the
Where,
difference.
nose tackles gone?
Yeah,
Lodi?
yeah. Well, Nada. Yeah,
Nada.
Now
Nada's
it's
gone.
gone. Yeah, when you talk about New England, they get the same amount of injuries as everybody else. Talk about Pittsburgh, same injuries as everybody else.
Oh, and you hate to see it.
Do your job.
Even Green Bay gets those injuries, and they pick up on nobody, some guy on a practice squad, and he becomes Jordy Nelson, and then
It's Aaron Rodgers.
yeah.
If they didn't have Aaron Rodgers, no one would want to go to Green Bay and live in that goddamn swamp. It smells. You ever been to Green Bay? It stinks.
Smells like the Marquette County Fair women's bathroom. And I didn't even go in there. Just smelled it from the outside. It's bad.
Take your word for it.
Yeah. April said it smelled like ugh.
Green Bay.
Good.
Not even diarrhea.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, good. We have a Lions game to watch.
We have a Lions game to watch later.
Yeah.
Ice or
Hopefully,
meat?
I don't put anything in it. Don't touch it.
Whatever you give me.
Meat it is.
Neat.
If you want, you can put a splash of water.
No, I'll put ice in mine.
Give me a milk. Chocolate.
Yeah, cream and sugar. Just bite the soap.
Take my coffee black. Yes, cream. Yes, cream.
Speaking of, I've been meaning to rent Super Troopers 2 is out on it's out on
Saw
rental
that.
right now.
Well, we were just talking about we were talking about the last time we came out here, and we were like, what were we here for? What were we doing?
I don't remember much from the movie. We might have to watch it sober. It might be funnier.
Yeah, that trip to Buffalo Wild Wings really tuned up the movie.
Yeah, just Dominic's girly shots that
Yeah.
were the difference.
That's my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you drink? Like 7 or 10 of those?
What was it?
Alabama Slammers.
Uh-huh.
Alabama Slammers.
Okay, I want a Leia. No.
Too much.
Oh, hey.
There's nothing in there.
Oh.
They're just.
Oh. So, Micah, have you tried this before?
Negative.
Oh,
I'm about to.
I have to.
It's alright. It's the magic of the internet. You can go pee.
Uh-huh.
I'll just pause it.
Take your time.
Actually,
Oh, that
that
smells
won't.
good.
We'll just talk about him while
It
he's gone.
smells like mesquite.
Yeah, this is Crown Royal Texas Mesquite. It's a limited edition whiskey. I'm
into
a
it.
big whiskey fan, and so are these guys. So I bought a bottle and brought it over, and we're going to have a little bit and be responsible for our mothers.
I'm not. Sorry, Mom.
She does listen. F
Okay.
Y I. I love I say that all the time. FYI, real dramatic like that. Now Jordan started doing it. So JT always does that to Julie now.
Perfect. Well, just letting her know.
Yeah.
Smooth. Smooth.
Smooth.
Smoky. That's good.
It does have a
It's good.
smoky taste.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
delicious.
It's like,
Mesquite.
Crown Royal. Tell me it's not Canadian.
Yeah.
Where's Crown Royal come
We
from?
better get ad kickbacks on Crown Royal here.
If you guys use that potty,
It's fantastic.
It's really good.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. No, it's good.
am I like eating like a piece of wood?
No.
Yeah.
Smoky.
Chewy. Chewy.
Smoky. But it's sweet. You like it.
Some sneeze. I knew it.
Kyle just grew a beard, and all he did was smell it.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw a thing. They did a shot of tequila. They give the guy a shot of tequila, snorted the salt, lime in the eye, squeezed the lime juice in his eye, and took the shot.
Right.
No, it's good.
Oh, we're on?
I was just telling you where we were at.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, guys. We can go as long as you want. We can wrap it up now and really start partying or whatever you guys want to do. But, okay, one of the things I did want to talk about weightlifting, because we actually talked about it a bunch, and sometimes I'm always a little worried about that we're going to over-talk it, and then we'll have nothing to say by the time we come around to the podcast. But the video I shared of that dude in Canada deadlifting at that gym,
Well, that was bad.
and that asshole comes over and kicks the bar out of his hand mid-lift.
No. Kicks
Saying like 365 on there.
Yeah, a teenager. That was a teenage kid. in a gym, working out, doing deadlifts. And he had extra padding under the weights. So it's not like he was being loud. He was trying to be quiet.
He wasn't dropping the bar.
And for anybody who's done deadlifts knows that that's normal. That's the normal sound you
Yep.
hear when
Yep.
someone's
Ka-chink,
deadlifting.
ka-chink.
Yeah. You hear someone going hard on a machine. You're gonna hear the weight slapping.
Yep.
You do. It's normal. You don't like it? Put earbuds in. Turn it up.
It's not Planet Fitness.
Right. And he was in an area you could tell that was basically designated for doing what he was doing because there wasn't anyone around him.
Stop it. Stop it.
The whiskey is turned us. It's turned.
I got a mustache.
Oh, that was
going.
really bad. That was really bad with that. Is there lawsuits?
He's
Any
pressing
charges?
charges. That's what I heard last. And the guy's been banned for life. And the fitness center is offering that kid and his whole family free for life.
Perfect.
But you know what? If he hadn't been, he was videotaping that for his personal trainer. So he uses a personal trainer at the gym. He was videotaping his session for his personal trainer to show his
Checking
form.
his form.
Yeah.
With the green.
But if he hadn't been, you'd be stuck in this he said, she said bullshit scenario. It was great that he had video.
Yeah.
Because that guy was a prick.
Yeah, he was.
Canada sucks, man. That was Canada. I thought they were supposed to be nice.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah, eh?
You betcha.
Man.
You hoser.
We got, the NHL just needs to let, like, the Toronto Maple Leafs win a championship or something.
No.
No?
No. Because
Give Canada a win.
Gary
Maybe they need a
Babcock's
win.
there. Screw Gary Babcock. Should stay in Detroit. Prick.
You hoser?
How about,
You
how about the
hoser?
Toronto Raptors? Maybe the Toronto Raptors need a win.
Well, they were in the number 2 seed in the NBA playoffs, and they lost to the Cavs. Bunch of bums, you hosers.
Canada.
Should have had Vince Carter there, eh?
That's what I said, Vince Carter.
You know what's the best
Where's
thing to
he?
come out of Canada? That song, Out for a Rip.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit who else came out of. That's the best thing to ever come out of
I thought
Canada.
you were going to say Steve Eisman.
Well, Stevie
Was he
Y's
from
pretty
Canada?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullshit. He was born there. He lived most of his life in America. I'm claiming him as American.
And now he's in Florida.
Yeah.
Runs the Lightning.
Yeah, he didn't go back to Toronto, did he?
No, hey. Wow, that whiskey was amazing.
Son of a gun.
Yeah. That was something else though. That kid could have got really hurt.
He could have.
His shoulder, his wrist, his neck, his back,
He stomped it out of his hands.
he stomped it out of his hands. Tommy said he should pick up a 20-pound weight and club that dude with it. It was assault. He would have been right in his right to defend himself.
Throw a 5 at his face.
Throw a nickel at him.
Right,
Yeah.
right in your teeth.
Do they call it a nickel in Canada?
Yeah.
What's the French word for nickel?
Oh,
Pussy?
what's
I think it's Queen's piece.
what's that one coin? It's like a silver and it's got like a gold color in the center.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Quebec.
No, that's a different kind of Canadian.
Canada.
Just ripping.
Oh.
Oh, man. Yeah. I heard there's good fishing up there.
There is.
Yeah,
There you go.
I had a student, one of my first years teaching,
We'll end it on a high note. Good job, Canada. Good
Yeah.
fish.
So my student made, I got a little spoon press. So you put a piece of stainless steel in there and you beat it with this press and it makes the shape of a spoon. So you cut the excess metal off and clean it all up and painted it like a little red devil on the top, you know. And went up fishing with this old man up in Canada. They fly into some lake and you stay in there and mosquitoes are like pterodactyls, you know. And they fished all week. They put like $20 in. Whoever gets the biggest fish gets the money. You know, there's like 8 guys up there. He caught the biggest fish of the week with a spoon that he made in shop class in 8th grade.
Awesome.
That's cool.
That is cool.
See, and that's
So
why
how big was the
fishing
fish?
sucks.
Yeah, Jim Olivier,
And how much money did he make?
140 bucks.
So there was 8 guys.
Nice.
You're testing me. Wait, carry the 9. Yeah.
I'll show you what I think of that later.
Yeah. No, marmalade or jam.
$140 160, 140.
What is that divisible by?
No, he won it all. He won whatever. He won it all.
He won the
He
pot.
won the pot.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. You guys seen Sturgis was this past weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, we missed that again.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah. Was Mort out there?
Had 2 guys died.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Missed corners.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say too much fun.
Well,
Suffocation.
Suffocation by Todd.
yeah, there was, you know, we do try to keep our media feeds pretty clean, but it's funny, you look up videos of Sturgis and pictures of Sturgis, it's always topless chicks on bikes. That's like a big part of Sturgis.
And
It seems
chaps,
like.
yeah.
I really don't care for that.
Yeah. No, the Paceys and chaps kind of
Yeah.
go hand in hand.
Yeah, that's what you see a lot of.
Yeah, a lot of dudes with Paceys and chaps on.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's a lot of dudes.
What are you guys looking around for?
Yeah.
Just check what the bell girls are.
Oh, I see them. They're over there playing badminton.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah. So yeah, we missed Sturgis again. That's 41 years in a row for me.
Yeah. 22 for me.
You know what? I am a little bummed out though because I was over there a couple of years ago when I was on vacation. I was just south of there in Deadwood, and I should have made the effort to go to Sturgis just because who knows if I'll ever get over there again.
Drive through, have 10 or 8, 12 beers.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell my wife. I'm like, let's just drive up. We'll go to the Full Throttle Saloon. We'll hang out and then head out.
Yeah.
That place
Like,
burned
just
down.
do it.
They rebuilt it.
They rebuilt it because they were there this year.
Is
Yeah.
it Michael Ballard's doing it?
I don't know. I did a. If you look on our Instagram and Facebook, I did a short video
It's not
that I
the snoozer
pulled
in there.
from their site. They had Harleys coming in and doing the burnout box.
Oh,
They got a pretty
that's
cool
right. That's right.
Ah.
That was this year.
You had the one
What's
video
that?
you posted.
He grabbed all the gears.
Yeah.
Oh.
God bless those guys.
New tires on the rack behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found
Guys on
another.
new tire, rooting them on. Yeah,
Yeah.
burn it down.
I
burn
got
it
50
down.
miles on this one. Let's do it.
Yeah. Do you see when they use oil and they light the oil, so it's a
Yeah.
fire burnout? Those are so cool.
See the flame coming around with it?
Yeah, I'll be posting some videos of that.
Bike's worth 40 grand. Tires worth 300.
Yeah. Hey, you get those Chinese tires; it's even cheaper. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
I could burn mine off all day long and just replace them with those Nexans. They're what, $100 a piece? That's turning your beer can money.
Well, I got new blacktop, and there's a straight stretch right here that says, bullshit, you can't do that.
We were talking about it.
It's even quieter down the road because there's no houses.
It's like, how would your neighbors appreciate that? Because that car's loud.
We might have to try it.
But we know we can't do it tonight because
We've been
Tommy's
having
been drinking.
alcoholic
Because I've been
beverages.
No, it's good. There's no cops out here.
No cops. I put that in one of our videos, and
You
you know what
did?
happened? A cop messaged me and said, "Why'd you say that?"
There's a cop that lives down the road. He's a good guy. Yeah, a couple years behind me in school.
Nice. Well, it's nice to have the police around.
He's
You
a
you have a
kid.
nice neighborhood.
Hashtag
You're
stand
commenting
for
on that
the-
on our way
He's a
in.
canine guy. He works the night shift with his canines.
Okay.
We go by his house down here,
You do a lot of meth busts then.
and he's got his police dog, and he's got another like a German Shepherd that's his own personal dog, and they're just sitting in the yard,
That's awesome.
and they're the coolest dogs ever. We went over, we were walking one day, and he was there, and he came out and talked to us, and the dogs just came up, and they were so friendly, and they didn't move at nothing. They were just
That's awesome.
smelling, pet them, and they were just like, oh, they were super chill, just good dogs,
That's
big
awesome.
dogs, but good dogs.
Nice.
Huh.
I see videos of their training, when they put those bite suits on and tell them to go, those things get wild
Oh,
fast.
yeah.
When they
He's talking about
go,
his dog.
yeah,
What was
that's
that?
nuts.
What was that video we were talking about? Like, there's a guy, California, 2 or 3 different cars. He switched, got in a different car, driving, switched, got in a different car. He finally got out of a car and was running, and a police dog just totally just took him down from behind and was just gnawing on his arm.
Oh.
Bad. And then all the cops pulled up,
They're
Guns.
talking about that.
guns drawn,
Yeah.
but the dog, they didn't pull the dog off yet. They were letting him go.
Let the dog have him. Maybe
Yeah.
talk about his options.
Yeah. It's intimate.
Yeah. Joe Rogan was talking about that because he does a lot of hunting and he hunts wild boars and they use dogs for that. They use American bulldogs and pit bulls. And he said their dogs are around 100 to 125 pounds. And they'll get in. The biggest pig he's killed so far was around 400 pounds, he said.
Oof.
And they said you'd be surprised, all those dogs, what they're trained to do is they come in and they bite their ears and pull. And that's the pig like freezes. It freaks them out. And then they come in and shoot him or stab him. But
Skewer a pig.
yeah,
125 pound dog. 125 pound dog.
yeah.
No thanks.
If that thing went dog on you, that'd be sketchy.
Oh.
Yeah. Joe's got 3 or 4 dogs that he keeps. He's an interesting guy. He's not what you think.
Is he like friends with Michael Vick or what?
No,
Oh.
I don't think he would appreciate that. And Joe could probably kill him. Yeah, it's interesting. He's really into bow hunting. But they were talking about pig problems down in Texas, and they helicopter tools will hire you. You can hire them to go in, and they actually have fully automatic machine guns, and they'll find these huge masses of hogs, and you can shoot as many as you want. And they don't go to waste. Then they'll go in with trucks and they'll take out the dead and they'll process them and distribute them out to like shelter homes and senior facilities and stuff. So, and Joe says wild pig is the best tasting pork you've ever had in your life. So I believe him.
Oh, we've had some of that from Roger.
Hogan, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, very good. What's he down to though?
Just a couple hundred.
Yeah.
He's gotten weird. Joe's now all he does is bow hunt. He's way into the mystical flight of the arrow.
Ah.
He's got his Hoyt. You watch him wear a lot of Hoyt stuff. Talks about deer hunting in Wisconsin. He just had a Wisconsin DNR officer there. They were talking about the chronic wasting disease in
That's bad
Wisconsin.
over there.
Yeah. Well, I guess the big fear though, they're worried that it's going to jump to humans. And I remember we were doing. It's like mad cow disease in deer. It's all it really is. It's a brain disease. Eats your brain and kills you. It has never jumped to humans, but that's what they're scared of.
Yikes.
The genetic profile says it could, but it never has. So
So is he turning into what's his name?
Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent. Yeah, is he turning
he's
into
had Ted Nugent on there.
He's right there.
He's had Ted Nugent on there, and that's kind of what they
Stranglehold.
said is that you think they'd know each other, or that they would be
Oh, I'm sure.
running in the same groups. But Joe's kind of liberal in many ways, but also conservative in many ways. He kind of floats down the middle, and Ted is very conservative.
Oh.
But you know what? As crazy as Ted is, he's rational when he talks about his stuff. That's one of the greatest rock songs ever.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, Stranglehold is on my phone for sure. Uncle Ted, he was the one that was talking about shooting the hogs from helicopters with machine guns.
That would be amazing.
Oh, like Full Metal Jacket, hey?
Yeah,
Get some.
Gets him.
but you know he bow hunts a lot in Michigan. He's got land down around the Detroit area, and he's got stuff up by Charlevoix, and he even comes to the UP to hunt quite a bit. So
It's crazy the guys that come up to the UP.
yeah. Well, what is it? Out of the Alston Bar, they saw Dale Jr. one year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Snowmobile season, right?
Snowmobile,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep,
With
Dale
his
Jr. is
posse. Alan Trammell and
Yeah.
Kurt Gibson in Jackson's Pit, Nagani
Yeah,
in the winter.
Did
Up,
you-
up snowmobiling. And
that's cool.
Ashley's basketball coach to be was in Jackson's Pit and had pictures with Trammell and Gibson
Wow. That's
in
awesome.
February, and they were just up snowmobiling.
You know, in the days before cell phones, or not cell phones, but smartphones,
Those dudes.
I met Luther Ellis, and I met Robert Parrish.
Really?
Or not Parrish, one of the bad boys. What's his name? Bill Lambier and...
Guy.
I thought you were going to say Robert Porsche.
No.
No,
You're talking about the basketball.
basketball guy. Rick Mahorn.
Rick Mahorn, yeah.
It was Rick Mahorn. He came in and sat next to me. I was sitting on a bench and I was totally spaced out. I was working at a movie theater.
The original Bad Boys.
Yeah, this huge, gorgeous Lexus pulls in the parking lot. And I looked up and saw it, and then I just went back because I like muscle cars and I can give a shit about some stupid luxury vehicle. But
I love Lexus.
he comes in, and he had to duck through the doorway. So I'm like, holy cow, this is a big dude. But then I was just, doing my thing. I didn't know he was going to walk over to me. He comes over and he sits right down next to me. And he goes, so, I'm looking for he told me some movie he wanted to go see, and I don't remember what it was, but it was some stupid movie, and he's like, my girl's in the car, or my wife's in the car, and we're supposed to go to the movie. I don't want to call him out in case he did say girl and it wasn't his wife. But
I got a story after that.
yeah. And I did. I actually I looked it up in our little computer database and helped him go find his movie, but I never got an autograph. I didn't think to ask either one of them. None of them. That was the only 2 times I ran into people like that. I never knew anybody else.
I was in Dallas, Texas for some hockey games, and we saw a Dallas Mavericks Boston Celtics game.
Yeah.
Kendrick Perkins was the center on the Boston Celtics. So Tom Sr. and I got in the elevator, and Kendrick Perkins was also in the elevator.
Yeah.
And 2 females were also in the elevator.
Oh.
We went down to the lobby, and Tom Sr. and I got out, and the 2 females got out, and then the elevator doors closed, and he went back up. So I don't know
What
if he
time
met.
was it?
I don't know if it was in the morning. I don't know if he met those girls the night before.
Did he pay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also Rajon Rondo. The night with that first night, Rajon Rondo was in the elevator
Yeah.
with Celtics. I forget the dude's name. He was a dunk champion. He was only like 5'8". He was just a short little dude.
Yeah.
But anyways, played for the Celtics. And Rajon Rondo had a fistful of money, and it looked like all hundreds and fifties. They had just come in to the hotel, like off the bus.
Yeah.
And I know, like Jordan, like all those teams, they play poker in between, like all the time.
Yeah.
In his hand, in the elevator, like totally, like if we would have, like, give us your money, dude.
He had thousands right there.
Thousands in his hand going up the elevator. It was
Yeah.
like,
He's living the life.
all right.
Yeah.
So we were talking about a story about Corey Schlesinger. One of the reasons I really appreciated him, beyond the fact that he was a great fullback.
Well, he's
Troy.
Nebraska. He's a good dude.
Yeah. He drove old muscle cars even back then. So he'd be in a parking lot full of Ferraris and everything, at the practice facility. He's got old muscle cars. That's awesome.
That's mid-90s. Man, when they picked him up, I thought Detroit was going to, like, go to the moon
Yeah.
to have Barry have a fullback.
They had talent. They did. But you know what? When they gave up Henry Thomas and Lomas Brown, they screwed that whole deal.
But they had a couple of years with Scott Mitchell where their offense was the best offense in the NFL.
Yep, they did.
Most yardage, most
until,
points.
Until he got into the playoffs.
Yeah, and then
Then
they
he
lose
threw
to
a
Brett
bunch of
Favre.
interceptions.
Yeah. Sterling Sharp,
Yeah.
jerk.
Yeah. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's all right, though. What are the odds that Green Bay's going to pull another Aaron Rodgers out of the hat? They had Brett Favre, a Hall of
Slim
Famer,
to
and
none.
they got Aaron Rodgers,
They've
who
had
might be
two-
the greatest ever to do it.
2 quarterbacks since '93.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
That's
see.
amazing.
Let's see him do it a third time. I bet they don't.
How many quarterbacks has the Browns had?
Right. Now they think they got the one, right?
Joe Thomas on the Browns, left tackle. In a huddle, in a game, met the quarterback who came out, who was like the second or third string. Like, he's in the huddle, never missed a game for all his whole life.
Yeah.
Met the quarterback
In the huddle.
in the huddle.
He come over and he's like, "Who the hell are you?"
He's all pro.
Get the hell off the field.
Like, he'll probably be a first ballot Hall of Fame
Yeah.
offensive tackle. Met the quarterback in the huddle in a game. Like the Browns, it's been like a revolving
That's
door. Hey, how about McGregor getting a fight?
Yeah, he's gonna fight Khabib. That's a big deal. Khabib's one of the best in the world. Russian guy, wrestler, strong,
Man, that was
basically undefeated.
a year ago, that fight, hey?
Yeah.
McGregor Mayweather.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun at camp.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. McGregor's gonna.
That was only like $10,
come in.
eh?
The weird part of it is in MMA, everyone, and even myself included, you kind of expect McGregor to take a dive or fall at some point. You know, it's fights, so at some point you're gonna get clipped. But it seems like in MMA, at least, every time he steps up, he knocks someone the hell out, like brutally. Every time you think this is it, you know, he's fighting a guy that's going to counter his style and beat him, it just doesn't happen. So
He's got a. Is this movie on Netflix?
yes, it is.
He's got a movie on Netflix.
Notorious.
No.
I don't know.
It's good. It's so bright.
Oh, turn the lights on in here. It's only 9 o'clock.
Let your pupils adjust.
Oh, pupils, I said.
Yeah, your pupils.
They're adjusting.
It's good.
Well, you know what? I think we did pretty good.
Orphan, eh?
That was
Yeah.
fun.
That was fun.
Uh-huh.
We'll have to do it again
We'll have to have
sometime.
you back after you've been in the gym for a while, Kyle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about your successes, your failures.
I don't have many failures.
No.
I'm not 40 like you guys.
When I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Yeah. April makes sure I'm taken care of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted her.
Put-
You got her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're out of here.